A cartoonishly dramatic soap opera played on screen, the heroine crying over spilled coffee as if the world had ended. Empty shopping bags were scattered across the couch, glossy paper rustling every time YN shifted her legs. She sat cross-legged, wrapped in a fluffy pastel blanket, one hand deep inside a box of imported chocolates, the other lazily holding the remote. YN. Why is this so boring today? She muttered, popping another chocolate into her mouth. The front door opened with a quiet click. She didn't look back. Heavy footsteps entered, measured, controlled, tired. The air itself seemed to change, like the house knew its owner had returned. Jungkook loosened his black coat as he stepped inside, bloodless knuckles still faintly bruised beneath leather gloves. The faint scent of gun oil and night air followed him in. He stopped when he saw the living room. Shopping bags, wrappers, the TV volume almost screaming. His jaw tightened, not in anger, but exhaustion. Jungkook. YN, he said calmly. No response. He removed his gloves slowly, placing them on the side table with precision, then walked closer. Only when his shadow fell across the TV screen did she finally glance up. YN. What? She snapped, eyes not even fully leaving the screen. I was watching that. Jungkook. You've been watching for 6 hours. YN. So, she shrugged. That's my life. He reached for the remote and lowered the volume. Not off. Just lower. She instantly sat up. Hey. I didn't say you could touch that. Jungkook. You didn't say you needed permission to spend my money either, he replied evenly, eyes flicking toward the bags. Her lips twisted. YN. Excuse me. We're married. Jungkook. Yes, he said quietly. Not reckless. She scoffed, tossing the blanket aside and standing up, barefoot on the cold floor. YN. You're never even here, Jungkook. What do you expect me to do? Sit quietly and wait like some obedient wife? His eyes darkened, not with fury, but something heavier. Jungkook. I expect you to stay safe. She laughed. A sharp, mocking sound. YN. Safe from what? Your secret life you never talk about. He froze. The room felt suddenly smaller. Jungkook. You don't want to know about that, he said carefully. She stepped closer, chin lifted defiantly. YN. You always say that. Don't ask. Don't touch. Don't question. Do you know how boring that is? This boredom keeps you alive. Oh please, she rolled her eyes. You're so dramatic. He exhaled slowly, rubbing his temple. Jungkook. YN, we didn't choose this marriage. I know that. YN. So you admit it, she shot back. You don't even want me. His eyes snapped to hers. Jungkook. I married you to protect you. She blinked, but only for a second before masking it with arrogance. YN. I don't need protection. I need freedom. Jungkook. Freedom doesn't exist in this family. She folded her arms. YN. Then why should I act like a good wife when you're barely a husband? That hit deeper than she knew. He stepped closer, towering but controlled, voice low. Jungkook. I come home every night alive. That is not, barely. She hesitated, just a breath, but stubbornness won. YN. You come home late. Silent, cold. You don't even ask if I ate. He glanced at the chocolate box. I can see that you did. She shoved it toward him. You think money solves everything. Jungkook. No, he said. Money is the problem. Her eyes flashed. Then stop giving it to me. He reached into his pocket and placed a black credit card on the table. You know I won't. She looked away, annoyed but unsettled. You're impossible, she muttered. You control everything. Jungkook. I control chaos, he corrected. So it doesn't touch you. She laughed again, but this time it lacked confidence. You sound like some hero. Jungkook. I'm not. Silence stretched. The TV characters argued softly in the background. Finally, she spoke, quieter. If you're so mature, so responsible, why did you agree to marry a spoiled brat like me? His gaze softened, dangerously so. Jungkook. Because I know how this world eats people like you alive. She clenched her fists. I'm not weak. Jungkook. No, he said firmly. You're careless. There's a difference. Her eyes burned. YN. I hate how you talk to me like a child. Jungkook. I hate that I have to. They stood there, wife and husband, cousins bound by blood and tradition, two lives colliding but never aligning. She turned back to the couch abruptly. YN. I'm ordering food. Don't lecture me again. He sighed deeply cause he don't want to do more argument and he knows that she is so stubborn and won't listen easily but he loves her so much. Next day, the bass thumped through her chest like a second heartbeat. Lights flashed red, blue, violet, too loud, too bright, too alive. YN leaned against the bar, cocktail in hand, lips curved into a bored smile as she watched people dance like nothing in the world could touch them. This was her world. Noise. Freedom. No rules. Her phone vibrated. Jungkook 12 missed calls. She scoffed and flipped the phone face down. YN. He worries too much, she muttered, sipping her drink. She didn't notice the men watching from the shadows. Didn't notice the way eyes followed her movements a little too closely. She felt it only when the music suddenly seemed muted. A presence. Heavy. Dangerous. Her wrist was grabbed, not roughly, but firmly enough to stop her cold. Her heart dropped. She turned, and froze. Jungkook stood there in black, jaw tight, eyes dark enough to swallow the room. He didn't shout, didn't cause a scene. That scared her more than anything. Jungkook. What are you doing here? He asked quietly. She pulled her wrist back. YN. Let go. You're embarrassing me. His grip tightened just a fraction. Jungkook. Answer me. YN. I'm allowed to have a life, she snapped. I'm not your prisoner. His eyes flicked around the club, faces, exits, shadows, calculating threats faster than she could blink. Jungkook. I told you, he said lowly, leaning closer so only she could hear, never come to places like this alone. YN. She rolled her eyes. You don't own me. That was a mistake. His hand released her wrist, but his presence didn't lessen. Jungkook. You think this is freedom? He murmured. This is exposure. She crossed her arms. You're overreacting. His lips pressed into a thin line. Without another word, he signaled one of his men. The music swallowed everything as they cleared a path. YN. Hey, what are you doing? She protested as Jungkook guided her firmly toward the exit, his hand at her back, possessive, unyielding. Outside, the night air hit her like a slap. She spun on him. You don't get to drag me out like that. His restraint cracked. Jungkook. Just enough. I buried 3 men last week, he said quietly. And you want to test me over a club? Her breath hitched. Jungkook. You disobeyed me, he continued, voice ice cold. You ignored my calls. You walked into a place where I can't protect you fast enough. YN. So what? She challenged weakly. You'll ground me. He stepped closer. No, he said. I'll lock the world away from you if I have to. Her defiance faltered. YN. You don't scare me, she whispered. His eyes softened, not kindly, but dangerously. That's the problem. He turned away, already done. Get in the car. She hesitated, then obeyed. From across the street, unseen eyes watched them leave. After they came home, Jungkook took her in his shoulder and came towards their bedroom. YN throwing her legs. YN. Jungkook put me down. Jungkook. $P at NK her BTT rightly. YN. How you dare to hit my BTT. Jungkook. Just shut up _ enough of your drama. Jungkook sit in bed and lay her on his L at P and $P at NK her BTT. YN. Ah, feel sting on her BTT. Then he $P at NK her left BTT tightly. YN. Ah, try to sit up. Jungkook hold her H at NDS and hit her BTT again. Jungkook. Don't you dare to move. You won't listen nicely. He $P at NK her again. YN. Ah, some tears came in her eyes. Ah, no, I am sorry PLZ. Jungkook don't want harsh on her, he want that she behave nicely, but YN is YN, she won't listen easily. $P at NK. $P at NK. YN. Ah, I am sorry PLZ, I will listen you. It's hurt so much. He can't see her crying, then he stop $P at N King and hug her and start to rub H Euro RBTT. Jungkook. Shish. Stop crying. I don't want to hurt you, baby. But you have to understand that we have a lot of enemies. You have to be careful him. Jungkook is still rubbing her BTTYN as F Euro Ling Ho registered NY. She tried to control herself, but she lost control. Her face is in Jungkook neck, she start key $. In his neck. Then Jungkook grab her face in his hands and start key $. In her lip $, then he $P at NK her BTT and she M0 at N and open her mouth, he took the chance and enter his T0 Unjin K. $, her with full of passion. Jungkook lay her on B Euro D and open H Euro R shirt and start giving her W Euro TK. $E. YN started mo at N loudly ah. Jungkook hold her B $, in his hands and pre $, ing her. YN. Ah. He Lee sent K her nip L Euro with his W Euro TT unj. And Sue sending her so passionately. YN. Young. Cook ah. Whole night he is devouring her and she is totally on his mercy. After some days she is feeling so bored she won't go out from many days, but now she can't control herself. Then she goes out. The boutique smelled like expensive perfume and irresponsibility. YN stood in front of the mirror, tilting her head as the salesgirl adjusted the diamond necklace around her neck. The price tag alone could have fed a family for a year, but that had never meant anything to her. YN. Pack it, YN said lazily, checking her phone. And the bag too. In white. Outside, the city buzzed with late evening traffic. Neon lights reflected off polished glass, and the mall's private parking lot gleamed under security lights. She didn't notice the black SUV parked a little too far from the entrance. Didn't notice the man pretending to talk on the phone, eyes tracking her reflection through the glass. YN walked out alone, shopping bags hanging from both arms, heels clicking confidently. Her phone buzzed. Jungkook. Where are you? She rolled her eyes and typed back without stopping. YN. Shopping. Relax. She unlocked her car, tossing the bags into the backseat. That's when the air shifted. A hand grabbed her wrist. Hard. YN. What the, hey? She shrieked, spinning around. The man was tall, masked, his grip bruised instantly. Kidnapper. Don't scream, he warned lowly. Get in the car. Her heart slammed violently. YN. Let go of me. Do you know who I am? Another man appeared behind her. Panic exploded. She kicked, screamed, tried to slap, but she'd never fought anyone in her life. Her strength was useless against trained hands. A third voice cut through the chaos. Now. They shoved her toward the SUV. Her phone slipped from her hand, clattering onto the ground, screen lighting up with Jungkook's name calling her back. She screamed his name. The world tilted. Jungkook was mid-meeting when his phone buzzed again. Then stopped. The silence was wrong. He stared at the screen for half a second, then stood up so fast the chair crashed behind him. Track her phone, he ordered coldly. She's offline, his right-hand man replied, pale. Jungkook's face emptied of all expression. Lock the city. YN was shoved into the backseat, wrists bound roughly. The car sped off. Her chest burned, breaths coming too fast. Tears streamed uncontrollably as reality finally, brutally hit her. This wasn't a drama. This wasn't Jungkook being dramatic. This was danger. YN. Please, she sobbed. I won't scream. Just let me go. My husband. One man laughed. Yeah, that's the point. Her blood ran cold. Kidnapper. You're expensive, another said casually. Very expensive. She shook her head violently. YN. No, no, you don't understand. He'll kill you. They exchanged looks. That's why we move fast. The car suddenly stopped in an underground parking structure. She was dragged out, heels scraping, knees hitting concrete. Pain exploded. YN. Stop, please, I'll give you money, I have cards. A slap cut her words short. Her cheek burned. Her tears comes. Kidnapper. Quiet. They shoved her into a dim room, tying her to a chair. The door slammed shut. Silence swallowed her. Her entire body shook. She looked down at her trembling hands, mascara smearing onto her skin, expensive clothes now wrinkled and dirty. For the first time in her life. No guards. No money. No TV. No comfort. Just fear. Her mind replayed Jungkook's words. Freedom doesn't exist in this family. I control chaos so it doesn't touch you. She broke. YN. I'm sorry, she whispered into the empty room. I should have listened. Tears dropped onto her lap. Minutes passed. Or hours. Footsteps echoed outside. The door creaked open. One man entered, phone to his ear. His face was tense now. Yeah, he said. He's here. Her heart stopped. Heavy footsteps followed. Slow. Controlled. Deadly. The room darkened as Jungkook stepped inside. Blood stained his knuckles. His suit jacket was gone. His eyes, no warmth, no mercy. YN sobbed loudly. Jungkook. He didn't look at her at first. He looked at the men. Jungkook. You touched my wife, he said calmly. The men backed away instinctively. She had never heard that tone before. Never seen this version of him. When he finally looked at her, bound, crying, broken, something cracked beneath the ice. But only for a second. Jungkook. Get her untied, he ordered. As they rushed to obey, his gaze never left her face. Not anger. Not disappointment. Pure, terrifying relief masked by rage. She whispered through tears, voice shaking. YN. I was just shopping. His jaw clenched. I know. He turned back to the men and shoot them. And took YN in his arms. She hugged him tightly, still crying. The room was dark except for the bedside lamp. YN sat curled in the middle of the bed, knees pulled to her chest, fingers knotted tightly into Jungkook's black shirt. She hadn't let go since they came home. Not when he cleaned the blood from his hands. Not when he changed his clothes. Not even now. Every time he shifted even an inch, her grip tightened like she was afraid he'd disappear. Jungkook. YN, Jungkook said gently, barely above a whisper. I'm right here. Her breathing hitched. YN. I know, she whispered back, but she didn't loosen her hold. Her eyes were unfocused, staring at nothing. Every small sound made her flinch. The hum of the AC, a distant car horn, the ticking of the clock. Jungkook leaned back against the headboard, one arm around her shoulders, the other resting over her trembling hands. She suddenly buried her face into his chest. YN. I don't like the dark, she mumbled, voice breaking. Can we keep the light on? Jungkook. Yes, he said instantly. We'll keep every light on. Her fingers slid higher, clutching his collar. YN. Don't leave. Jungkook. I won't. YN. Promise. He swallowed. I swear on my life. That seemed to calm her. Just a little. Minutes passed. Her body was still tense, like she was waiting for someone to grab her. Again. YN. I couldn't breathe, she whispered suddenly. When they held my wrists, I thought I was going to die. Jungkook's jaw tightened painfully. YN. I screamed for you, she continued, tears soaking into his shirt. I was so scared. I kept thinking, this is it. This is how it ends. His hand moved slowly, carefully, rubbing small circles on her back. Jungkook. You're safe now, he said, steady but soft. No one will ever touch you again. I won't let them. She shook her head violently. YN. I didn't listen to you. I was so stupid. I thought you were just controlling me. I thought. Her voice cracked. I thought you didn't care. That broke him. He gently tilted her face up, forcing her to look at him. Her eyes were red, swollen, no trace of the spoiled confidence she used to wear so easily. Jungkook. Look at me, he said. She did. Jungkook. I have buried bodies, he said quietly. I have walked through hell without blinking. But the moment I couldn't find you, his voice faltered for the first time. I lost my mind. Her lips trembled. You are the only thing in this world that scares me to lose. A sob ripped out of her. She lunged forward, wrapping her arms around his neck, clinging like a child. YN. Please don't let anything happen to me again. He hugged her back fully now, tight, protective, one hand cradling the back of her head. Jungkook. I won't, he whispered into her hair. You're mine, and I protect what's mine. She nodded repeatedly, like she was convincing herself. YN. I don't want to go out anymore. I don't want shopping or anything. I just want you. Her fingers trembled against his skin. YN. Can I sleep like this? Jungkook. Yes. YN. Even if it's uncomfortable. Jungkook. I don't care. She shifted closer, practically climbing into his lap, her legs tangled with his. Her heartbeat was wild, pounding against his chest. Every time her breathing slowed, it suddenly spiked again, panic returning in waves. He noticed. Jungkook. You're doing good, he murmured. Breathe with me. Slow. She tried to copy his rhythm. In, out, in. Her grip loosened slightly, but not fully. YN. I feel stupid, she whispered. I used to yell at you for leaving. Now I'm scared when you're not here. Jungkook. That's not stupid, he said. That's trauma, she sniffed. Will it go away? He didn't lie. It'll take time. She nodded weakly. Will you stay with me till then? His answer came without hesitation. As long as you need. Her eyes finally fluttered shut, exhaustion pulling her down. Just before sleep took her, she whispered, barely audible, I'm sorry, for being spoiled. His hand stilled. Then he kissed her forehead. Slow, careful, reverent. You were protected, he said softly. You never had to be strong before. She exhaled, clinging one last time. The Mafia king sat awake all night, holding his wife, guarding her sleep. After few days, YN is not fully recover from this kidnapping trauma. Sometimes she see nightmare about that incident. Most of the time Jungkook is at home with her. When he is not home then, she is silently sitting in her room. Today they have to go in family gathering. Every month they have family gathering. The dining hall was louder than usual. Silverware clinked against porcelain, soft laughter filled the air, and the elders of the family sat at the long table like they always did, perfect, composed, observant. YN sat beside Jungkook. That alone was unusual. She wasn't sprawled lazily across her chair, scrolling on her phone. She wasn't complaining about the food or whispering sarcastic comments. She sat straight, shoulders tense, one hand gripping Jungkook's sleeve like an anchor. When a servant walked too close behind her chair, YN flinched. Her fingers tightened instantly. Jungkook noticed. His jaw clenched, arm moving instinctively around her, pulling her closer until her side pressed into his chest. She exhaled shakily. Across the table, his aunt narrowed her eyes. "Aunt, what's wrong with her?" she asked bluntly. "She looks like she's seen a ghost." YN lowered her gaze immediately, fingers curling harder into Jungkook's jacket. Jungkook didn't answer. Another cousin chuckled lightly. Did someone finally tell her no for once? That did it. Jungkook slowly placed his fork down. The sound was soft, but the room went quiet anyway. "She's not hungry," his uncle added, studying YN. "That's new. She used to complain if dinner was 5 minutes late." YN's breathing quickened. Her knee bounced under the table. Jungkook's hand slid up her arm, thumb brushing soothingly. "Jungkook, it's okay," he murmured to her alone. "You're safe." The family exchanged looks. "Aunt, safe," his aunt repeated sharply. "What does that mean?" Jungkook lifted his eyes. Cold warning. "Jungkook. It means," he said calmly, "you don't question her." His mother frowned. "Jungkook, we're family. If something happened." Something did happen. The words dropped like a blade. Silence crashed over the table. YN's head snapped up, eyes wide with panic. "Jungkook." He turned slightly, lowering his voice just for her. "Jungkook, I know. You don't have to speak." She nodded quickly, lips trembling. That softness, that made the family stare even harder. His uncle leaned back. "Since when does she sit quietly? Since when does she cling to you like that?" Jungkook straightened fully now, arm tightening protectively around his wife. "Jungkook. Since you failed to protect her." The temperature in the room plummeted. "Uncle, what did you say?" his uncle asked, offended. Jungkook stood. The chair scraped loudly against the floor. YN panicked instantly, standing with him, hands clutching his arm. "YN, please don't leave me," she whispered, voice breaking. Every single person froze. Jungkook looked down at her, eyes softening instantly. "I'm not going anywhere." He guided her back into her chair, keeping one hand firmly on her shoulder before turning back to the table. "You all enjoyed how carefree she was," he said quietly. "Her ignorance, her softness." His gaze sharpened. That softness nearly got her killed. A sharp inhale rippled through the elders. His aunt stood up. "What are you implying?" "I'm not implying," Jungkook replied flatly. "I'm stating." YN's hands shook visibly now. Jungkook noticed and snapped his attention back to her, crouching slightly to meet her eyes. "Hey, look at me." She did. "You're doing great," he said softly. "You don't need to hear this." Then he straightened again, expression lethal. "Jungkook. From today onward," he said, voice firm and unyielding, "no one questions her behavior. No one forces her to attend gatherings. No one comments on how she eats, speaks, or breathes." His uncle scoffed. "You're being dramatic." Jungkook smiled. There was no warmth in it. "I've buried men for less." The room went deadly silent. YN whimpered softly, overwhelmed. Jungkook immediately turned back to her, lifting her into his arms without hesitation. She clung to him, face buried into his neck, shaking. "I want to go home," she whispered. He pressed a kiss to her temple. "We're leaving." His mother stood abruptly. "Jungkook, this is family." He looked at her. "Then act like it." No one stopped him as he walked out. YN held onto him like he was the only real thing in the world. As the doors closed behind them, Jungkook whispered into her hair. You don't belong to them anymore. She nodded weakly. I just belong with you. And for the first time, the family realized, the spoiled brat was gone. And the Mafia king had drawn a line no one would dare cross again.